Go ahead.
Okay. I think last time I told everyone to just kind of ask questions throughout rather than like kind of wait until the end. So yeah, just interrupt me, basically. Oh, there we go. This is me. So a little bit about me. So I'm a lifestyle creator, live and breathe all things social media with an entrepreneurial drive. I also own a creative agency, as my background is strictly in commercial producing, and then decided to start my own agency with a partner, but also a creator on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So career-wise, I have worked with brands like Starbucks, Canada Goose, Corona, Nike, and then social-wise, worked with brands like Bud Light, YSL, SE, Conair, so on and so forth. But little thing about me is I love my family, my friends, and of course Netflix. Absolutely love TV. Okay, so this is my agency. This is me and my business partner, Vicky. So we elevate brands' online presence through social growth and branding techniques such as influencer marketing, social media management, and producing high quality content, aka my background. And in addition to the creative, we also have a digital department that deals with everything, SEO, pay-per-click, web dev, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's look at this one. So why is social media important for your business or any brand or any business, whether you're an individual brand or you're an e-commerce brand or whatever? The main thing is brand legitimacy. And the main reason that you need to stay consistent and have an online social presence is brand legitimacy. Also, the ability to connect with potential customers and current customers serves as an awesome customer service outlet as well. So you can have direct access to your customers at like any moment, it's instant. Okay, professional content. So why is this important for your brand? Well, great content can help you build that trust with your customers. It also looks far more professional as well. And when someone opens your page or your website or any of your social platforms, it's kind of like a brand portfolio. They take one look at it and they can kind of determine how legitimate you look as a brand or an individual. So social users are shoppers. If you post the right images and videos, customers will soak up your marketing message without any hard sales pitches, aka organic and natural marketing. Your brand needs to stay appealing and interesting for your followers on social, aka your potential customers or current customers, in order to be successful on a completely visual platform. Okay, we talk more about influencers later on, but just a little thing about why influencers are important. They have a higher than average engagement rating usually, which shows genuine interaction between them and their followers. Their followers trust influencers. They are far more personable, often followed by genuine fans, heavily focused within specific niches. So if I was Bud Light, for an example, and my target demographic is like college students, I would try to find an influencer whose niche and audience is college students. That's like far more niche and narrowed in onto your particular customer rather than like a billboard or anything like at a home, really. Of course, they promote sales and boost customer loyalty, which again builds brand trust or brand legitimacy. So for a little bit of an example here, 5 to 30 micro influencers, each with anywhere between like 2,000 to even 100,000 or 1 million followers, can amount in like hundreds of thousands of impressions with literally just one post each. That's far more than, again, anything out of home or even like a broadcast commercial. This is like far more impressions, and we all know that most of that is going to be niche and targeted towards your brand, ideal brand demographic. Okay, so kind of just jump right into it. We'll talk a little bit about Instagram and Facebook, and then we talk about TikTok as well. But we're going to start with the basics. This being a link in bio. I don't know, a little controversial here, but the most important destination, right? Immediately everybody thinks, okay, website. That's where I'm going to put that link is going to be my website. But have you ever thought about like kind of mixing it up, right? So utilize that last line in your bio to like direct people to that link. So for an example, I want to offer my audience value. So what if I'm having like a fall promo sale and I say buy one, get 2 candles free or whatever? that last line in my bio, I'm gonna say buy one, get one free, buy one, get two free, link below. And that link will drive whoever directly to that promo. So it's kind of like offering, I don't know, a little bit more value than just a regular link in bio website. Why one link? Well, I mean, yes, you can use like link trees and have a bunch of links in there, absolutely. Kind of hard not to do that, especially if you have a lot of things going on. But people have short attention spans, so if you can keep it to one link, highly suggest you do that. Okay, detailed bio. So I kind of briefly mentioned this just now about, you know, trying to mix it up. Again, you guys probably already know this, but like, let's keep it short, keep it to bullet points. Attract your ideal audience, take advantage of SEO keywords. Best way to contact, obviously, where you're located, your email. Keep it short, and again, try to mix it up with that link in bio, and let's offer some value. Let's talk about, you know, free pickup. Let's talk about free shipping, promos, or anything along those lines. Try to mix it up and keep your followers on their toes. So I kind of screenshot this. This is just a small business, and I think they have the perfect bio, in my opinion, here. So, for an example, this is the name of their business, right? This is all SEO searchable as well. They go home decor, absolutely. Their handle is, I actually just cut it off, but it's olfactory lab candles. This describes what they are, so their candle's great. And they have a few bullet points. This is all SEO searchable, so if I were to go into Google and say, you know, sustainable home decor, hopefully this pops up. They have sustainable here. They have coconut soy, plantable, the location here, woman owned, that's all SEO searchable. And then they offered value to their customers by saying free pickup to link below, right? That's like a unique way of kind of offering value, even though it's just their website linked. Still something that I would click because it has free pickup. Okay, so overall theme, few different ways where this can be super beneficial. It just looks super professional, let's just put it that way. Even if you don't have all the money to spend on content, and you know, you can't rent a studio and a photographer, there's still ways you can go about making your feed look super professional, right? And that would be consistent. Consistency, sticking with certain color palettes. This is Bloom, this is a tea brand. I screenshotted this because I thought it's an absolutely amazing feed. Yeah, obviously these are all shot in studio, but you see they all stuck within certain color palettes. They still have, they're highlighting certain things here. This is like fall, and then we're going into Christmas here. Very unique, very artistic. So the cleaner and more artistic your feed looks, the longer people will stay on their page, AKA higher engagement and more followers, and we all want that. More engagement, more followers, and why? Because then you get thrown on explore pages and all that, and that can bring in potential customers. So cohesive feed isn't the only thing that's super important when designing your page, but consistency is equally important. So posting consistently will have your customers tuning in daily to check out the latest updates that you have to offer. With consistency becomes reliability, which legitimizes your brand again. Legitimizing your brand. Customers tend to use social media in a way to contact a brand. Again, that's customer service. So the more that you're online consistently, the easier it is to put out those fires right away, right? And then the more you show up on people's feed, the more that they'll remember you, believe it or not. So a good thing here is what I tend to do for all of my clients, even if I'm just scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or wherever at night and I'm just scrolling through and I see some awesome photos, I constantly save inspo photos. So, you know, if I actually do have a tea client, it's not Bloom, but I absolutely love Bloom stuff. And this photo might pop up here, and I'm planning ahead for my tea brand, and I'm like, okay, I need to get some good Christmas content ready for December. I see that, and I'm like, okay, this is awesome. I'm gonna save it as inspo, and when it comes to, you know, going straight into pre-production for December content, I pull up all my saved content, all my saved posts. Pinterest as well is great, and I kind of go off of that. And then I kind of like, I don't know, it saves me time before I head into that pre-production, right? Saves a lot of time. Also, yeah, so this could be for like any brand as well. So like, what brands do you aspire to be like? What brands do you look up to? Again, this could be like a personal brand. If I was a realtor and I'm trying to build an audience on social, I look at other realtors and I'm like, okay, what are they doing that I like? Save it, make note of that. And then obviously don't copy it, but kind of like take that inspo. Okay, so the algorithm, this is for Facebook and Instagram, and then TikTok is different, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Okay, the algorithm sucks. But anyways, so it starts with phase 1. So I'm my tea brand and I just post a photo. Only 10% of my followers are gonna see that right away. And then Instagram or Facebook takes it into account and they go, how many people of that 10% are actually engaging and interacting with that post? If it does well, then it moves on to phase 2. If it kind of just like stops, you know, the engagement sucks, I'm not gonna be moving on to the rest of the phases here. Phase 2 is deeming your account credible. So a few different ways that they can look at this. This is like basically Instagram trying to weed out all those bots, which I think is amazing, but it's also how new is your account, right? Are people DMing you? Are you, you know, do you seem like a real person? You're a real person, you're not a bot. Are people tagging you in photos? You know, the more interaction that you're having with your audience up until that posting moment, the more credible and more realistic you look as a person or a brand, right? So if you're deemed credible, then you move on to phase 3. And phase 3 is hashtags. And yes, you do not really reach hashtags until you hit phase 3. And when I say reach, I mean onto that like explore page of the hashtags. So there's 2 sections within a hashtag, and this is for, again, Instagram and Facebook. TikTok is just overall general, but there's the top section and then there's the recent section. Everyone will show up on the recent section with phase 1 onwards, but that top section is that explore page within that hashtag. You will not reach that page at all until you hit phase 3. And the better your post is doing, the longer your post will stay on that page. Okay, so that's why engagement is super, super important. And you can still build, you know, your account to be able to do really well in phase 3, just engaging with your customers, right? Making sure your account is extremely credible. And then moving on to phase 4. So if you do really well in the hashtag section, your post is getting tons of engagement, people are loving it, it's showing up on multiple hashtag explore pages, then you go to like the actual explore page, which is prime real estate. And it's really, really hard to reach there, but once you do, you bring in all of your potential customers. So, best spot. Okay. Building your community. Okay. Followers versus community. So, in comparison to a follower, community brings people together for a mutually shared experience. Participating in a community means you have to participate, so not just ask people to follow you, you have to engage with them, you have to make them feel like they're your best friend. And then the more that they feel like they're heard, the more that they trust you, right? The more that they're gonna refer your brand to their friends, the more that they're gonna continue to go back to your page and comment on all your things and, you know, cheer you on from the sidelines. So you really wanna make sure that they're heard, you wanna make sure that your entire audience feels like you're their best friend, essentially. So people don't just follow you, they actually wanna have a relationship with you, again, so that's building a community. It doesn't necessarily mean follow me and I'll follow you back. That just means like, you know, reply to their comments. Tell them that they've been heard. Start engaging with other people in the community, aka this is your ideal demographic. Again, a good way of doing this is hashtags, which we'll talk about in a second. But you can easily build your community by going to places like geotags and hashtags and all that. And again, don't just leave them in the dust. Yeah, the more that they trust you, the more likely that they're gonna use your products, refer your brand, cheer you on, have nice things to say about you, deem your account credible. Oh, and this little quote here, so treat people like people and not just a number. Okay, so if I'm a brand new brand, where am I gonna pull my community members? So for starters, obviously in marketing, you're gonna try to figure out who your ideal customer is, break it down by like a little avatar. What's the name of this person? What's the gender? Where are they located? You know, what are their favorite activities? What do they like to do? You're gonna break that down into an avatar, right? Okay, so I have this perfect ideal demographic in my mind. Now I need to go find these people. So you can find them via your competitors. So as a tea brand, I'm gonna go to that Bloom tea and I'm gonna go look at their community and see if maybe they would be interested in following my tea brand or your inspiration. So this is like, you know, rather than going to Bloom, I'm going to David's Tea, which is a massive, massive brand. So you can go directly to them. If they like David's Tea, most likely they're gonna like my tea. Hashtags, location tags, geotags, all that good stuff. So, I wonder if, okay. Actually, I just wanna, okay, it's 2 steps. So, when you go to pull, so when you're gonna go to Bloom Tea, and I'm gonna engage with their followers and their customers, you have to keep in mind that you can't also look spammy for multiple different reasons. You don't wanna get flagged by Instagram or Facebook because you can get your account removed. So obviously, like, let's not do that. But the more you interact with that person, they might go, who is this person? And then they go to my page, they like my tea, so on and so forth. Okay, hashtags. So I'm gonna try to explain this the best way I can. I find it a little tricky, but so we have access to 30 hashtags. And I believe on TikTok and Twitter and LinkedIn, it's a character count. But Instagram and Facebook, it's 30 hashtags. That's all you're given. Never use all 30. I would say that golden number is anywhere between like 12 to 20, I would say. And the reason for that, well, I'm gonna explain right now. It's really tricky, so ask questions if I'm not making any sense. So let's say there is 100 points within all 30 hashtags. And then, so if I use all 30 hashtags, all 100 points would get divvied up evenly between those 30 hashtags. If I were to use less hashtags, that's like more percentage going to each hashtag, which means my chances are higher of reaching that explore page than if I were to use all 30. Does that make any sense? Yes. Okay. I always have a tricky time explaining that one. It's really weird. It was something that was leaked out of like an old Instagram employee. Who knows if it's true? However, I've done my research a million times, and I do find that that is an actual strategy that they use. So I like to keep it between 12 to 20. Another reason why I like to keep that is I don't want to look too spammy as well, especially as a brand. I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard. I don't want to possibly use the wrong hashtags. And I also want to keep it super, super, super niche, because the more niche you get, the better the chances of that person coming and actually wanting to, buy your product. I might not just use like sustainable living. Not everybody from sustainable living is going to go buy my candles. Got to make it super, super, super niche. Okay, so what kind of hashtags would you use? Again, within that like 12 to 20, I like to mix it up between location specific. So that candle company you saw, they were based out of Oakville. So I would say like, I don't know, Toronto sustainable community, or small business Toronto, or Ontario small business, or they also female entrepreneurs, stuff like that. Keep it location specific, niche specific. Again, that would go the more sustainable route because they're a sustainable brand. Event specific. And the last class that I spoke at, they brought up a few really good points here when I talked about event specific. You use this wisely. Like, I'm not gonna go and say, I don't know, I feel like for event specific, I would say if I was a fashion brand, and New York Fashion Week was going on, even though I'm not in New York, I would still utilize a New York Fashion Week 2022 hashtag, because the people that are going into that hashtag want to know, what's the latest fashion trends going on in New York Fashion Week right now, right? And hopefully my content and my brand is showing up on that hashtag. That's extremely niche. I want them to come join the club. But you can't just utilize things like, Black Lives Matter, or you have to play it professionally and ethically. So the last class, they brought that up and they said that they heard, some brands just utilizing all the really popular hashtags that are going on, like Black Lives Matter, for an example, because it's super popular right then in that moment. Yeah, it is super popular, but do you really want your brand to be known as that person that's just using that hashtag to get those people? No, you don't, right? So do it ethically, but. Okay, also you can check to see which hashtags have been doing good in the past. And normally you could just do this via different softwares, which I did talk about Hashtag Slayer up here, which is a third-party app that is Instagram approved. There's so many different apps out there that, if you log your Instagram account in, Instagram or Facebook just hate it and they can potentially ban your account. Shadow ban it, remove it, whatever, we don't want that. But then there's other platforms like, Hootsuite, for an example, or Later, that Instagram and Facebook have deemed we're cool with this, you can utilize this platform. Hashtag Slayer is A-OK by Facebook as well as TikTok and Twitter. So we're good, we can use this one. I love this platform. There is a paid version and a free version. Well, for myself and my agency, and we run so many different brands, obviously $7.99 is a no-brainer for me, but the free version still has some amazing tools to utilize as well. So maybe check that out before you jump right into the paid version. But essentially what it is I would go and I would punch my handle in. So the old Factory Lab, I would punch my handle in, and it would basically, it's all like AI, and they would give me a list of hashtags that they think would go well with my brand based off of competitors, previous hashtags, my audience. So, the people that are commenting on my posts most frequently, what other accounts are they following? It's super cool. So they spit out this massive list. And then you can go ahead and select certain ones. I'm not gonna go and copy and paste an entire list. I'm gonna go and analyze it, and I'm gonna see that they gave me, Canadian sustainability. And I'm like, this is great because there's location in here. It's also niche. I'm gonna use this one. I click it and it can even narrow your list down even more based off of the one that I clicked. Super cool, absolutely love it. And this platform can also tell you which hashtags have performed well in the past. So if I use 12 hashtags, I threw that in my post, the next day I'm gonna go pull a different 12. It's gonna show you which hashtags from the post I did yesterday performed well. I'm not ever going to copy and paste the same bunch, ever, because you can get flagged for spam, so never do that. But if there's a few hashtags in there that are doing well, absolutely go ahead and use them again, right? So analyze your analytics. And another thing about hashtags, and this is also relevant for TikTok and Twitter as well. So there are a few different hashtags you kind of need to stay away from, and it's kind of hard to figure out if any hashtag kind of falls in that category. But there's banned hashtags, there's dead hashtags, and then there's just completely oversaturated hashtags with millions and millions of impressions, which probably not going to do well on that one. But anyways, Hashtag Slayer can determine which hashtags are any of these red flag hashtags. So a dead hashtag is a hashtag that nobody's used within the last 3 months. So if nobody's used this hashtag within the last 3 months, chances are nobody is looking at it right now. So why am I going to use one of my 12 hashtags on that? I wouldn't want to anyways. So they just, I think there's a little skull beside it, like a dead hashtag or something like that. But yeah, it marks them for you, so you can determine whether or not you want to use that. A banned hashtag is something where any social platform thinks that it's spam. So follow to follow, like, I don't know, F4F. Every single social platform is like, no, we're gonna ban this hashtag. You type it into any platform on TikTok or Instagram, it'll pop up and then no post will show up. Basically, they think that it's not gonna benefit anyone. Also, people using it are most likely bots and they're gonna spam people. Anyways, there's so many hashtags out there that are banned. Believe it or not, like, I think it's like long hair don't care is banned. Why? I have no idea, but it is, right? So it can determine which ones are banned. That's pretty cool. So that's my favorite hashtag platform. Influencers. There's a few different things between an ambassador program and influencers, and I preach this to my clients every single day. Influencer programs are great if you're doing a brand launch or a new product launch, or if you're doing a big sale for winter. You know, I think Black Friday is coming up, great. Then that makes sense. You're gonna do one-off influencer push where you're gonna get 30 influencers on board. You're gonna have them post within the 1 week span. That's a ton of impressions within that 1 week span. All those eyes is going towards my Black Friday sale. Absolutely. But much prefer ambassador programs. Why? Because it builds consistency. The more that one person, I think there's a rule of 7, I don't know if you guys talk about it, but the marketing rule of 7, you have to see something 7 times before you actually soak it in and want to go buy that product. Influencers are the exact same way. So build that consistency with that influencer. So if my client had a budget of 10 grand, for an example, and they're like, yeah, let's just do one big influencer push. I'm like, no, let's split this 10 grand up over 3 months, even if that means I'm gonna be making less money as an agency. I don't care, because it's gonna build far better results. And then the happier my client is, they're gonna come back. So to me, that's a win-win. I'm not gonna go and put that 10 grand on 30 influencers over Black Friday. I'm gonna go and get 5 influencers for 3 months, split that 10 grand up over 3 months, and each of the 5 influencers are posting once a month. Maybe that's a few stories in one post once a month. And then that's gonna build far better impressions, far better click-through rate, sales, literally everything. And then also on top of that, you gotta utilize far more content, which is great. But yeah, so so this girl's name is Lisa. So for example, I love her, I think she's great. She's been posting about genuine tea once a month for the last few months. As a follower, I'm like, oh, okay, this looks good. 2nd month, wow, she's like really loves this product. 3rd month, okay, she's been talking about this product nonstop, like, I'm actually gonna go buy it. Like, I trust her. She's not just like pushing this on me because it's an ad. Yes, of course, you gotta like state things that are ads. Regardless, the more she posts about it, the more I'm trusting her as a follower. So ambassador programs are far better. Also, I say this to all my clients as well. Why do you want to do an influencer program? Like, what's your number one thing? And most brands go, oh, I want to make sales. Okay. Well, do an ambassador program, right? That's what you're gonna do. Or go get an affiliate program. Like, we're not, sales for sure, but there's other benefits from using influencers, like content. You can utilize all of their content for every single social platform right now. When you go and you make a page, you have to sign the terms and agreement. It's in there that you are able to repost anything on that platform, as long as whoever the original account that posted it is credited, right? So obviously I can't go ahead and I take that and I go boost it into an ad. That's when you have to discuss like usage rate with that specific influencer. But these people, like, they know what they're doing. This is their job. You know, they take really good content. I'm gonna go and utilize that content rather than putting 10 grand into this massive photo shoot. I'm gonna put it towards an influencer campaign or ambassador program. Not only get that brand awareness and brand legitimacy, might get some sales, awesome, but I'm also utilizing all of their content that I can now post on all of my socials. And it's saving me the cost of hiring a photographer in a studio. So yeah, so I say this to all my clients, like, for sure, sales, absolutely, but you're getting so like so much more than just sales. And obviously brand legitimacy, that's the big one, right? Talk about it all the time. So yeah, figure it out. Why are you using influencers? And kind of go that route, right? You wanna do sales? Go with an affiliate. You wanna do content? Then maybe you can work with influencers with a lower follower count, right? And then they're gonna be cheaper. So if this one girl with 2K is $100 to post, then I'm gonna get a few of her and all of her friends and utilize 10 different pieces of content rather than putting all that money towards maybe one influencer with 50,000 followers. Okay, so these are just some case studies that I pulled that my agency has done here. So Colvia, this was a brand launch. So they did one-off, a big push of 16 targeted influencers with at least 20,000 followers located in New York City and LA. And I can't remember, they expanded over to San Diego. But anyways, 2 cities, LA and New York City. That was already super hard. Super fashion focused. These are the girls here, right? Like, you know how hard it was to pull 16 of these girls? It was pretty hard. And they all posted within 1 month. And their bags are actually valued at, I think the cheapest bag was like $550 USD, so it's a really, really high value product. And the budget for the influencers was like microscopic. And we still got almost 700,000 reach from that one campaign. That's wild. Not only are you getting that massive reach, that's extremely niche into like all these, you know, anybody following all these girls are probably into their fashion, right? So it's extremely niche, but I'm also utilizing all of this awesome content that now I'm able to post on all my socials. And it just so happened that all these girls were just like, we had a few that were verified, we had a few that were in the millions. Like, it was just such a successful campaign, and it legitimized the brand like overnight. It's crazy. Here's another one, Cottage Springs. Okay, so 12 targeted influencers with at least 4,000 followers, so not 20 now, we're doing 4, over 1 month, and this was a product launch. This is when they launched vodka water a few summers ago. So again, this makes sense to do that one-off push, right? Because they're doing a new product launch, you wanna bring all that awareness over to that one product. Absolutely, let's do it. We had an insanely high engagement rating, and I still think that's because we used influencers with a smaller following. I think this one is far better than the last one, right? Yeah, you see 5.82, but we had like, again, like between the 16, I think the smallest follower or smallest influencer might have had like, I think like 35,000 followers. So obviously that engagement rating is gonna be smaller. Yeah, this one did insanely well. This was all gifted. We didn't pay any of these influencers. We just shipped them off like a case of vodka water, basically. And we're like, okay, post about it, that'd be great. Absolutely love all these photos, super pumped. Cottage Springs was so excited about it. They ended up absolutely loving this photo, and they asked if they can purchase that photo from this girl. They blew it up, they threw it in at a home, like super successful. And everyone was literally they didn't pay anyone, they just shipped out all this product, and they still got 85,000 reach in that 1 month, which is crazy, super crazy. And all of these influencers had very local following as well, which is great because Cottage Springs is like Canada only, I believe. Okay, so I guess let's go into the caption. Oh, this is a little bit more salesy here, but caption, you know, actually let's just show you this quickly. So you see how you only get, I think it's 60 characters, I don't know how many characters that is before it goes ... more. You're gonna try to hook people in before, oh, it's 30 characters, before that more. So that's more on the sales route, right? But you have 30 characters in a caption before you hit the more, and you have to hook people in within those 30 characters because you want people to click that more, obviously. Include your hashtags in your caption. There's all this controversy around, is it better in the caption versus in the comments? Honestly, I don't know. I've tried both ways a million times. I cannot tell you which one's better. But I prefer to put them in my caption just so it doesn't look like I'm spamming in the comments. That's just my personal preference. Also, you want to build all of the engagement. So the best way of doing that is asking questions or creating some kind of conversation. And if you're not posting a video where you can there's stuff going on, have a conversation within the caption. Ask your followers questions. So this is an example of what I thought did really well here. So this first one here is, as if the adjustment to 60 square feet living wasn't enough of a challenge, this week we invited ... I'm like, wait, what? Who did they invite? I don't know. I would click them more. I think this is totally interesting. I also love the van life. I'm curious. Cool. This is a brand. They sell tights. And this is a good way of starting a conversation. People love talking about themselves all the time. Everybody wants you to ask them their opinion, their advice. So ask them. They go, how will you enjoy your day today, right? So ask your question, right? And this is an ad. I also thought this was a really well done ad here. So pre-order is live. It's finally time to get your hands on the frame, ... Right? What's the sale? I'm confused. Pre-order, what's going on? Oh, I'm gonna wanna click that more. Yeah, so 30 characters to kind of really snag them in. Okay, professional content. This does not, this doesn't relate to TikTok. This is strictly LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, not Twitter, not TikTok, just those three. They prefer high quality content, right? I think we all knew that. If you post a blurry photo or high saturation or it's super dark, they're actually not gonna push that photo in the algorithm. They're just not gonna do it. They think our users are not gonna wanna see that. This is a really crappy photo, we're not gonna push it. So let's try our best to create high quality content. One of my clients actually said this to me a few months ago, and now I'm telling everyone because I thought it was super smart. They say, well, this was a completely different conversation. They were like, yeah, we're not super picky about engagement right now, but we want everything to look perfect. They said they want all of their content to be super bright and crisp, and they want it to look like that Bloom tea brand. Why? Because they said it looks like a portfolio. So, potential investors or potential customers are gonna go click their page and go, oh wow, that's really beautiful. They know what they're doing. They have money. They're successful. Anyway, so they use that word portfolio and actually really like that. So, okay. So yeah, obviously we want to make Instagram and Facebook happy. We want them to push out our content in the algorithm, because that means obviously getting potentially on the explore page, getting all of our followers to our page. Let's do that. When it comes to video, on the other hand, like Reels, this does not relate to Reels at all. You can post a crappy video and it'll still get pushed, so you're good with that. Same with TikTok. Does not matter what you post, it's gonna get the equal amount of push. And also, this is a given, but the more visually appealing something is, the more people are gonna go and double tap and hit like. The more people that go like, the better engagement, the better in the algorithm. So let's just shoot good content, right? And this relates to absolutely anyone and everyone, whether you're an individual brand like a realtor or like a TV personality, or you're a brand selling this perfume or a tea, doesn't matter. This is the best tip I can possibly give, and it's probably a given, but batch your content. Like as a creator myself, I'm so busy. I'm literally so swamped all the time. I don't have time to just go out and shoot for an hour, like 3 times a week. I just don't have time to do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kill a Sunday afternoon. I'm gonna put together 7 outfits, and I'm gonna go to multiple locations and kill an entire day and get like 3 weeks worth of content. That's just batcher content, absolutely. So what I do for all of my brands and my clients, we do mini shoots every single month. So I actually shot this photo here for our client. This was shot in my studio, and this was shot in our bathroom, obviously. But we have full backdrop setup. We also have multiple areas within our studio that kind of can play off certain I don't know, spaces, like obviously our bathrooms and living room and all that. But when I spend 5 hours at my studio, I take photos in every single corner so I can utilize all my content possibly looking like it's shot on a different day, right? If you don't have the money to get a studio, then shoot at your house. Think about it. Like, does my bedroom look different than my kitchen? Absolutely. You're gonna shoot there, you're gonna shoot there. Go outside, get some, daylight. Like, just shoot as much as you possibly can. If you can make it look like it's done on different days, bonus. Yeah. Matching content. Stories. Stories. I hate stories. Really tricky for brands to constantly pump out stories. Again, if you're not like always on your phone taking video, or if you're not resharing stories that people are tagging you in, it can be really difficult to pump out new stories. So this is what I suggest to every single brand. Create a library of evergreen type content. And you don't need to post it right then and there, but if you just have like a full library of it and you have nothing to post, you haven't posted in a few days, go to that evergreen library and you go, okay, this is great, I'm gonna take this story, I'm gonna go post it just to stay active, tell your followers that you're still there, and obviously consistency. A good tip of evergreen would be like a this or that, right? So for the tea brand again, I'm like, would you like matcha in, I don't know, iced matcha or hot matcha, like this or that type of idea. Create a bunch of evergreen type content. Reviews is another good one. If you have reviews on a website, get the reviews, throw it up into like Canva and make a cute little story. Those are always good. BTS, people love to know what's going on behind the scenes. Show your face. People want to know that there's an actual face behind your brand. Create an IG live or an IG story series. There's this brand, she does so well at it, and she does Choosy Tuesdays, which is like a this or that, and it's a home decor brand, and every single week on Tuesday, I think at like 8 p.m., I know to go to her page and do this or that story series, and it's all based off of home decor and like interior design, and I don't know, I absolutely love it, and I go every single Tuesday to go play this little game. So if you can find a way to kind of bring your audience into your page every single week, even for 10 minutes, that's awesome. So story series are absolutely great. Obviously a given, polls and stickers, use as many as you possibly can. And this goes hand in hand with people love talking about themselves, right? The more people are gonna slide that poll sticker, that counts as engagement, which means Instagram is gonna push you in the algorithm, which we all want. Reels are also tricky. When you sit down and you think, oh my God, okay, I need to batch 4 reels. What am I gonna possibly do? Again, you can go back and see if you've saved anything within the last few days and kind of pull inspo. But some stuff that tend to do really well are quick lists or tips, right? 5 tips for healthy hair. I don't know, I love that stuff, great. Oh, for hair masks for damaged hair. Before and afters, transformations, awesome, cool. Take a viral trend and put your own twists on it, obviously. And reel covers, I'm very, very pro reel covers, just because I love everything to look cohesive and clean. And obviously reels can look super messy, yeah.
Should we treat the reel as a post and use like the same hashtag counts and stuff on reels?
Absolutely, yeah. The one thing that I would do differently with reels is nobody ever reads captions on reels, like hardly ever. So even though you have that 30 character, I would even cut it down to like 20 characters, something really quick and short. Nobody is gonna click the ... more. It's just, I don't know, nobody does. And then yeah, of course, hide your hashtags in your reels as well in the caption. Reel covers, again, I just love the consistency of how everything looks. Reels can like kind of make a feed sloppy. If I'm using it as a portfolio, I don't want anything looking sloppy, so I might take a photo and use that as a real photo. Reel cover, sorry. TikTok. Okay. TikTok's great. Love TikTok. The one thing is they're so niche. Go into TikTok knowing how crazy niche it is. So if I'm a realtor and I started posting like home tours, you can never ever venture outside of that ever. Like create a new account if you wanted to start posting about food. Like you cannot mix the two. If you start building an audience based off of home tours, that's all you have. That's all you're able to post moving forward. So really sit down and strategize what you're going to be posting as a brand on TikTok before you go ahead and do it. Because if you change your mind halfway through the game, you kind of you did all this work on your current TikTok just for absolutely nothing to go start over. Consistency. So TikTok actually will punish you if you don't go on the app after for a long time. So if I posted every single day for a month and then I all of a sudden was like, I got busy and I stopped posting and maybe I posted twice a week instead, I actually am gonna get punished by that for TikTok. They're not gonna push my video in the algorithm. So if you're not able to dedicate time to posting every single day, then batch your content, have it sit in the drafts, and just find like a schedule that you know you could stick with. Even if that means you're sitting in drafts for a week, do that. Also, TikTok is extremely SEO searchable, probably more so, other than LinkedIn, this would be the best SEO utilized platform. Oh, and YouTube, of course. But so with that being said, in your caption and your hashtags, make sure they're like keywords. Hair might not be a good keyword, but hair mask would be a good keyword. Again, sustainable would be a good keyword, or drink recipe. Think about what people would go and type into Google. Make sure your caption is filled with those keywords and your hashtags are filled with those keywords. Even if it's a super generic hashtag like hashtag hair tutorial, even though it might have millions of impressions, this is the only platform that I'm telling you can actually use that. I would never use hashtag hair tutorial on Instagram because it's flooded, whereas TikTok I would. It's just the way that they utilize their hashtags is completely different. It's way better for SEO. Right, niche down to deliver what people want. Again, this is kind of in the same category as niching down. Yeah, don't post food if you're gonna be posting home tours, just don't do it. Music is king, 100%. If you're trying to grow your TikTok, the number one piece of advice I can give you, other than the consistency, is utilizing a trending audio. And I don't know if you guys know the app, Trend Talk. It's a phenomenal app. There's different sections within the app. There's like currently trending or trending now or whatever. It'll spit out the list of sounds that are trending within Canada. But what I do is on the rise. And on the rise means these are pieces of audio that might have like a smaller usage number, but this app is already determining like it's on the rise, right? People are saving this audio even though they haven't used it yet. It's on the rise. I'm gonna go ahead and use that because I know it's gonna continue to trend over the next few days rather than what's trending right now in this moment. I have far more success with that, so that's what I suggest. Also works for all of my clients as well. Yeah, Trend Talk. I think it's like $34 a year or something like that, but it's the best $34 I've ever spent. Also, a good rule of thumb is if something is trending on TikTok right now, a trend or audio, in 2 months it's going to be trending on Instagram. So, pretty cool. More the better. Yeah, spit out as much content as you possibly could. Utilizing features like duets, obviously, absolutely do that. Filters, do all that fun stuff. Collaborate with other creators or other brands. Every single time a brand reaches out to one of my clients and I'm like on the page and I see that they reached out being like, let's do a giveaway together or let's do an Instagram live together, I say yes every single time because our audience are very similar. Not only is it, show support to your community, but I'm gonna pull in their audience. Their audience has no idea who I am and what my tea is, but I know that they're gonna love my stuff because we're in the same niche. So yes, every single time. Collaborate with other creators and other brands as often as you possibly can. Hop on trends, but keep in mind you don't want to lose your brand voice as well. You know, yeah, I don't know how to explain that one there, but like my tea brand, for example, they're super quirky and witty, so I'm able to utilize really stupid trends and get away with it. But if I was like a serious mortgage broker, I might not do something silly, right? So you just kind of make sure you keep your brand voice. And a lot of people ask me, well, you know, my audience demographic is females in their 40s. What should I go on TikTok? And I'm like, yeah, everyone is on TikTok. It just means you're gonna have to try a little bit harder, but go ahead and do it. Everyone's on TikTok. Yeah, it's crazy. Who would have thought? But oh, analytics, obviously. Won't get into too much detail about this because I'm sure you guys know everything about analytics, but adjust your posting schedules, posting times, what kind of content you're posting based off of your analytics. Obviously within the apps, they have free analytics and stats, but these are some softwares that are third-party approved that have probably the best analytics. Actually, number one would be Sprout Social, but I never put it on here because it's the most expensive. Very expensive. Iconosquare is the best, cheapest option of the three here. Later is the cheapest option, but it doesn't have the best analytics. Hootsuite is a little bit more expensive than Iconosquare, but a little bit better analytics. I use these softwares not for scheduling my posts, strictly for analytic purposes, because I need to know exactly what my audience is liking, so I can adjust and move it forward. Yeah, pretty much it. Oh, this is just free within the app, obviously. So the top stories here, so you have to see like what types of stories are doing good, and you can easily pull this type of info just directly within the app. And that's it. Any questions?